Okay, I'm going to give a quick demo of the BillaBear system and how to set it up on DigitalOcean. Uh, the easiest way to set up on DigitalOcean is you scroll down to Get Started, and we have this button, Deploy to DigitalOcean. Go over here, click Next. Then we need to set the environment variables. The private Stripe API key is required, or you can't use the system at all. So I'll copy over some keys. And the public one is only used for if you're adding cards manually, which you probably won't do. And then you create resources. This takes about 5 minutes to do for the first time. So I'll show you, we'll do a demo of the actual system. This is my development environment. This is the main dashboard you see when you log in. We have the active subscriptions, the estimated monthly recurring revenue. If you're supporting multiple currencies, then this is converted using that day's exchange rates. The annual revenue. You have new subscriptions here, churned subscriptions, revenue gained, amount refunded, and amount disputed. We have the transactions here where we have the payments, refunds, chargebacks, invoices, and unpaid invoices. So if you click here, you see a payment. This is the payment information. So we're able to see how much it's for, the currency, the external reference. This is the reference for Stripe. You're able to see which customer it's for, what country they're in. You click through, see more information. You're able to see any refunds. This one has a refund for £10.30. The reason, who created it, when they created it, what subscriptions payments for, and then the receipts. If you wish to issue a refund, you click here. The amount is in the minor currency amount, so that's £22. And you issue the reason there. So if I go £10.12, test 2, and the refund's created. The products. This is the almost directly to the Stripe products. So if you want to sell like a subscription, whatever, you have a product, and then you have prices, and you're able to create subscription plans for each one. Here you have that. You have the prices there, currencies, type. If you want to create a new plan, you would do that here. Create plan one. Choose free. It has a trial by default, so this would be able to be overwritten later. You'd be able to select features. Say, hey, this has this feature. This has that feature. That feature. Set custom limit. So you said that. And see you can add prices. So you say it only has US dollars for this price. Create subscription, and that subscription plan is created. Uh, the features are here, so basically very simple. You just create a feature and you have a code. This is mainly used for the API and returning what features are available for a customer. The ability to create vouchers. Uh, this is you have the name, you have the type, so if it's a percentage or a fixed credit. So we get percentage off an invoice. Fixed credit is the amount of credit they get. Manual is a code, and automatic is when an event is triggered. Currently, the only event is if there's a new payment card added during the expired card warning phase. You're able to view customers over here. You're able to see the information here for the customer, the address, the information. All this information is test data. It's not real. You're able to see the subscriptions, so you're able to see what subscriptions they have. You can have multiple subscriptions. You might want to create a new subscription. Uh, you have the payment details. You're able to see what limits they have, what features. So if you're doing customer support, you will see, hey, why don't I have this and that? You're able to see that there. You're able to see the payments, and you're able to see the refunds, and as well as what credit adjustments have been made for that customer. So if they've got credit from a voucher or credit from a refund or pay credit for anything really. Uh, so that's there. We go through the subscription. We're able to see what plan it is, the ability to change it, or the ability to add the change the price. So we say customers on a default price, but you want to change them over to a private custom price for customer support reasons, such as putting them back onto a legacy pricing. You're able to see the payment details, the payments there, and then obviously what they are currently paying with. If you wish to change the payment method, you're able to click this button here, and you'll be able to select which payment card they're using. If you wish to cancel the subscription, you click here, choose when, to instantly, and then there's pro rata based on the usage, or you can issue a full refund or none at all. This obviously requires internal permission, so it's not like a customer can automatically choose what one they're getting. Uh, so that's that. And then we have the settings. You have your default user settings. So if you wish to change your email address, name, or change your password, that's there. We have the Stripe settings here. If you wish to, when you first start up BillaBear, you'll probably want to do a Stripe import. So this is where you come. This is where how you register the webhooks. So instead of having you go into Stripe and do it manually, you'll be able to click here. If you want to disable Stripe billing completely and have BillaBear handle all the billing process and save some money, you can click that. It's currently disabled for this system. Uh, this is where you'd manage the BillaBear application users. So for your internal users, customer support, account managers, developers, whatever. The notifications settings, this is for emails and whatnot. Whether or not you want to send customer notifications or not. The default outgoing email and what sort of email service provider you're using. BillaBear supports the system one, which is SMTP, local. But if you want to use Mailgun, Postmark, or SendGrid, you're able to do that. Each one has their own settings that are required. When you're using an email service provider, you're able to use their templating system, so you can have all your email templates stored within the Mailgun or Postmark or SendGrid. There's system settings here, which is just currently system URL and the time zone. We have API keys here, so if you want to create an API, you'll need to create an API key if you want to integrate with it. You have your PDF template, so if you've got your invoice and your receipt, you generally will have custom designs and custom information there. Often you legally require to have specific information. This based on advance on what Stripe provides, which is often not legally compliant. You have the email templates. Uh, Basically, how they work is it looks for the default brand. So for each template, it goes for there's a default brand and a default locale, and basically that is the fallback. So the default locale and default brand are the fallback. It then looks for the brand of the customer and the locale of the customer. If that doesn't exist, then it goes for the default locale and then the brand of the customer. And then if that doesn't exist, then that's all the way back to the fallback of the defaults. They're all there, so you're able to that. You're able to add new ones. But the brand settings, so this is if you want to have multiple brands. So you want to have, say you have other customers, you have resale customers who resell your application, or you just have multiple different actual applications and products, and you have different brands for each of them. You're able to manage them here. Uh, so you click save, you're able to you name a code. This is used for identifying there. the email address to be used, company information, postcode, whatever. Once one's created, you then have extra settings, such as the notifications which are enabled for that brand. So you might want to disable certain notifications for a certain brand. Uh, and then the exchange rates for that day. So there are sorts of uh, exchange rates enabled. So that they're all listed there. That data is provided by Exchange Rates API, and that's updated daily, once a day. Uh, so that is an overview of the application that's currently there. And by now it's deployed. So now we can see a fresh install. And on your first install, first time you go here, when that hasn't been installed, you'll be asked for these settings. You set the default brand, you set the currency, time zone, and base URL. That's by default, we'll use the URL that's being given. This can be changed later. You set the first admin user, which I'll set here as my test account. And then you click install. I'll then process, they'll create a database, they'll create the first user account and some other stuff. That's why it takes them so long. And once it's installed, you can then log in and use the details you just provided. And once you've logged in, you then get this. Um, get rid of that. By default, you haven't imported any data. You can dismiss this if you're just setting it up for the first time, or you can click here. You go to the import page, where you can just click Start Import, and then it'll start an import for you. You could then click here to view, and you'll be able to see the process of the import. If you're doing this for the first time, it'll probably take a couple of hours to do the original import, depending on your processing time, power, and whatnot. So that is currently BillaBear and how it's working.